Let's start writing some code, and we will begin by writing a very simple class component, and it is going to be a counter app. Okay, then we will rewrite this with hooks. So let's begin. The first thing obviously you want to do is create a new React project, and I'm going to use create React app for that. So let me go to my terminal. Okay, and I'm going to create a new project, and the project I would like to create is inside this folder. This folder is in the root directory. It can be anywhere, so feel free to choose your location, but I would like to create here. Okay, so let me navigate to this folder, cd node react, and here I'm going to use create react app, and let's call it react hooks. Okay, now we can get inside our project, cd react hooks, and let's start using npm start or yarn, whatever you prefer. Let's start, and here we have our React application. Beautiful. Okay, let me open this project in Sublime Text. That's the one I'm using, React hooks. All right, so let's go to the source directory and let's get rid of all these files we don't need. We don't need a CSS, we don't need test, we don't need the CSS, we don't need logo, we don't need service workers. All we want is index. Okay, let's get rid of this. Okay, let's get rid of the CSS imports. Let's get rid of this. Okay, so that's perfect. Now let's go to app, and this is where we're going to write our class component to begin with. Okay, so we can call it app, that's fine. So class app extends component, we are rendering this. Let me get rid of all this div. Let me get rid of the CSS and logo as well from here. Okay, and let me simply write counter app. Okay, and that's perfect, it's working fine. Let me quickly grab Bootstrap CDN so that our application doesn't look too bad. Okay, so let me search for Bootstrap material. Okay, because this one is pretty cool. It's just like using Bootstrap, you get a fresh new look. Okay, so get started. Let's grab the CSS link. Okay, and let's go back to our project. Let's go to public index, and let's put it right here. Okay, beautiful. Now let's go here, and you can see already, you can see the change has been applied. Okay, for this counter app, the very first thing we need is state. Okay, because we want to have the total count in the state. So let's do that. We all know how to do that using class component. It's straightforward. So we create a state and we say count. That's the one we want, right? And we can give a default value of 0. So this count property in the state has the default value of 0. Okay, so to update this count, we can create a method. Let's create a method. Let's call it increment. Okay, this method will simply increment the count. Okay, so using the set state method, we grab the count and we set its value to count plus 1. Okay, so each time this method is executed, it will have plus 1 added. All right, so here in the render, we can show a form or button. So let's paste the heading back in. Okay, before we do that, let's make sure we use a single div so that everything is inside this div. We have a counter app, then we create a button on click. We want to execute increment method, right? And here we can simply say clicked times, so the count, we show the total count. Okay, this state count. Okay, So this is a simple class component. We have count in the state, we have one method, and we have a button. On each click we show the total count that is in the state. Okay, this state count. All right, perfect. Okay, here is a counter app and default value is 0. If you click, you see it increments. You can click many times, it just keep going. Okay, so this is how we can write a class component, which you obviously know, right? Now the fun begins when we start to rewrite this application using hooks. Okay, we're going to use state hook so that we don't have to use class component, we don't have to use set state and all this stuff. Okay, so let's do that in the next lesson. Thank you.